What's going on, everyone? My name is Sunny and I'm Ace's roommate, and I'm bringing you a commentary today on Titanfall. As you can see, we're playing Attrition on the map Angel City, and Attrition is basically like TDM, but Titanfall's version. So the reason that I'm bringing you this Titanfall Beta gameplay today is because I wanted to talk to you about something that I've been seeing going around YouTube, and I just had my own thoughts on it. But first, let me just say, by any means, this is my own disclaimer, and I am trying to say that I am in no way a professional player, not even close. Yes, I did some GBs in the past with a team, so I know what the competitive scene is like, but I have never competed in an MLG competition, but I do try to follow the scene as much as I can. So that's my disclaimer, and I'm letting you know right off the bat that these are my opinions. You know, you can feel free to disagree with them. So, the topic of today's commentary is, can Titanfall be competitive? So, you've probably seen, you know, a couple other videos on this. I'm sure a lot of other YouTubers are going on about this, and talking about whether or not Titanfall can fit in to the close niche group that is the competitive community. If you haven't seen the videos already, I'll link them down in the description, but Optics, Scumpii, and also Forepla, one of the co-owners of Team Envious, has put up their videos on their thoughts about Titanfall being competitive. Those are the two that I've seen. But so here's my opinion as a third-person perspective from someone from the outside looking in. First, a lot of the complaints that people are getting about Titanfall and, you know, it not fitting into the community is the size of the maps. Now, a lot of people are saying, okay, like, these maps are Battlefield-esque maps where they're huge and, you know, you have to run across the whole map to kind of, you know, find someone. So, in their defense, I'm going to say that the AI, or just your avatar in general, your character, has the ability to maneuver around the map relatively quickly. You can get from one place to another quickly because that's just how the character movements are. They're developed that way. The maps are so big because they are made for Titans. You can't have Titanfall competitively without Titans. Then it's just not even Titanfall anymore. It's just a game called Fall, where a bunch of people are running around and flying on jetpacks. That's not what we want to see. We want to see those massive behemoths fighting and shooting lasers and killing people, and that just adds to the competitive aspect. I want to say that having the Titans in the game kind of brings its own angle of strategy. What it reminds me a lot of is when COD started to implement the score streaks and the kill streaks into their competitive play. Now, it was a big change for a lot of the pro players because they weren't used to it, but as we saw in Black Ops 2, once they did start implementing these kill streaks, it was a brand new and just completely refreshing game to watch. It required a lot more strategy, you know, when do you call in a kill streak? Do you play for streaks or do you play for objective? It was just a whole new aspect to the game. Another big complaint that I've been seeing is the grunts. Now, I can understand that. I understand that you don't want to have AI running around and kind of deterring you from killing players and getting killed by player or a grunt when you're not looking. But you guys have to understand, this game is still just in beta, you know? The grunts are a big part of this game, but hopefully, you know, I'm really hoping, there's nothing 100% sure about it, but I'm hoping that they add private match into this game when the full game is released. Adding private match is probably one of the ways that they're going to eliminate these problems like grunts and everything else. Personally, I don't mind the grunts. I think that the grunts being in the game kind of adds its own little kind of thrilling aspect to the game, you know? There's never a dull moment. As a spectator, if I'm watching a COD tournament or something like that, there's going to be moments in Search and Destroy where there's nothing going on, and you're just watching a player sitting there. In Titanfall, that's not going to be the case. Titanfall can single-handedly revolutionize the competitive scene. If you're watching a game of Titanfall, whether it be Attrition or Hardpoint, which is their version of Domination, you can literally sit there and not be bored even for a second, because the players always have something to do. If they don't have another player to worry about, they have a grunt. So that's why it's important to kind of take that into consideration when, you know, thinking about this game. Obviously, Respawn Entertainment had something in mind when they put the grunts in here. And honestly, I can say that having played the beta, grunts actually just are an amazing way to keep the pace of the game up. I mean, those are a lot of the issues that I've been seeing around the internet. So I'm not entirely sure what else people are saying. But I don't know. Competitively, I feel like Titanfall does have potential. It has a lot of potential. And, you know, like I said, in the future, they might add private match in, which is, you know, well, I'm hoping they add private match in, which is going to be great for the competitive scene, and just the game in general, because, you know, I want to be able to get on and, you know, with my friends and just play a private match and just see how they do, or just kick their ass if I'm really good. You know, not saying that I am, but yeah, overall, for the Titanfall beta, I am very, very, very impressed. I'm very excited for the game to come out, and there's just a lot of good things about this game, and this is just in beta. For a game in beta to play so smoothly, I am honestly impressed. I don't think there has been a beta out there for a game that has played as smoothly as the Titanfall beta has for me. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap up this commentary by just saying Ace has just put up another commentary on his channel, so be sure to go check that out. It is on our transition from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, and I can tell you it is not an easy one. So please be sure to go check that out. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Leave a comment if you disagree with me. Argue with me in the comments. I'll probably write back and argue with you, because I'm like that. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. I'm going to let you finish off the rest of this gameplay and enjoy. I will see you later.